Speaking from the White House, President Trump threatened Europe's car exports ahead of the meeting tomorrow with European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker in Washington. That's tomorrow. But listen to President Trump yesterday.
The European Union's been very tough on the United States, but they're coming in to see me on Wednesday. And we'll see if we can work something out. And otherwise, we'll have to do something with respect to the millions of cars that they send in every year. But maybe we can work something out.
This comes the same day that JPMorgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon warned tariffs could derail economic momentum. In an interview with CNN, here's what Jamie Dimon warned. Quote, if you do another $200 billion of tariffs and this national security thing about cars, I think you're getting pretty close to reversing some of the benefits you've seen in the economy. And this comes as the U.S. Trade Representative is set to hold public hearings today about Chinese tariffs. Jason, what do you make of all of this? Because this is getting tougher and tougher, and you're hearing warnings not just from individual companies, but even organizations representing farmers across the nation because of the retaliatory tariffs from China that are hitting soybean growers, pork producers, and the like.
Well, the breadth is getting so wide, the numbers are getting so big. But I can tell you in the heartland, I do believe that President Trump has a winning message. It was something he campaigned on vigorously. I think most people look at it and say, yeah, the president is trying to come up with something that's fair, but I don't think this is necessarily going to play itself out before the midterm election in November. And it'll be interesting to see if you're in Wisconsin or Michigan in some of those tight seats to control the House, what's going to actually happen, what sort of impact is going to be there. Also interesting note, I think, is that front page story from the Wall Street Journal about the housing market, because I do think this all ties together with the rising interest rates, what's not going on in the boom or could be boom in the housing market. I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, home sales extend slump despite economic strength. This is on the existing home sales numbers, slipped 0.6% in June. So that's the story that Jason is talking about. But Jamie Dimon also, he was throwing a little shade yesterday at the Trump administration in terms of the tactics there. Jamie Dimon also told CNN, quote, I would remind folks that the president's team has already said there will be no retaliation. They've already been wrong. If I was the president, I'd be a little ticked off at some of my advisors, to tell you the truth. Marie Harf, he is a Democrat, or as we say down south, a big old Democrat. but again, he is the CEO of the biggest bank in the country.
And he's right. And I think this is one of those issues, though, that Donald Trump truly believes in, right? There are a lot of policies, I think, that the president can be swayed in a different direction. I really think that trade and tariffs is one he feels in his heart, and that's why we've seen him push so hard on this. But I would push back a little bit on Jason. A lot of the Republican message for the midterms is on the economy, is on the stock market, and is on what people are feeling from the tax cuts. And if these tariffs start impacting individual voters and negate the impact of the tax cuts, which I think we're already starting to see, whether it's soybean farmers, whether it's steel workers throughout the Midwest and the Rust Belt, I actually think politically this is contributing to a sense of anxiety that maybe Republicans are running up all this debt. They did this all. It's like a sugar high. And now people are seeing tariffs. Like, it doesn't make any sense to a lot of voters, I think, in real America.
I'll push back, though, a little bit on this, that the tariffs are not being passed through to the end consumer for the most part yet. And businesses, and we've talked about it on the program, a lot of people who are Trump supporters, their businesses might even be impacted by these. They see them as short-term tariffs and a negotiating tactic, and they are willing. They're calling their congressmen even in the Midwest. And we had a congressman on yesterday, and he said they're willing to sit back, at least in the short run.
But what short term? Like, Dagan, what is short? How long are they willing to wait when it doesn't appear that Donald Trump has made any headway on getting new trade deals with anyone? He talked about all these bilateral trade deals.
There's negotiations with NAFTA have been to renegotiate NAFTA have been ongoing,
but nothing's come from them yet.
Not yet, but the leader of Mexico actually came out and said they want to get something done in August. So there is still movement there.
How long do you think voters are willing to give the president on this,
Jason? Well, let's ask Jason, since he's run for office how many times.
Well, how long is this grace period to give the president time to negotiate?
I don't think that pass-through has really hit the consumers yet, where suddenly they've been used to purchasing something and then they see a
it's hitting
25.
Businesses.
It is, and those are real Americans right in the heartland, and they're the core of who Trump is talking to. But I think they also understand, let's give this guy a little bit of time. He does believe this. He's been talking about this for 30 years. He does believe in his heart.
How much time?
To be, well, you know what? When it starts, I will say say this, Jason Chaffetz. We have a reading on the second quarter gross domestic product on economic growth that could even come in close to 5%. That's going to come out on Friday morning. That is the fastest rate, quarterly rate that we've seen in years. We have approval rating of half of registered voters approve of Trump's handling on the economy. That is the highest mark on that question in all those Wall Street Journal surveys. His approval rating ticked up a little bit to 45%, and the economy is firing on all cylinders.
And let me tell you this.
And that's why we have we have some room to run in terms of these tariffs.
Democrats have no message on this. They want to raise taxes, and all they can do is talk Russia, Russia, Russia. And you look at any polling, nobody cares because
I'm going to give you the Democratic message later on the economy.
Okay, save
I'm going to save it.
I can't wait. That'll be a
do you
first.
agree with me? You have an economy. People feel good. They feel flush. The vast majority of Americans are seeing higher paychecks this year because of the.
Okay, so this GDP on Friday for Q2, official consensus is up 4.1% quarter over quarter. Whispers are as high as 4.8% to 5%. I think Charlie was talking about that yesterday.
You're talking about Charlie Gasparino. Yeah. That's 4.8% is the whisper coming out of the White House.
Here's what I'll say, though, about this election. One thing I'll say is there is some evidence from sources like the Beige Book that retailers are passing through higher prices on certain goods. That's part of the reason we've seen retail stocks rally so much. So maybe it's not affecting things much, but prices are moving a bit higher. The other thing I'll say is this, and again, I'm not from the political world. I'm a financial guy. The thing that I keep noticing is this: President Trump keeps saying things that are going to play to his core audience going into November. They're not sitting there analyzing, well, do we have a trade deal or not? They're sitting here going, aha, tomorrow the head of the European Commission is coming to the White House, Jean-Claude Juncker. And Trump's going to give him stick because those Europeans are cheating us. So everyone's saying, oh, they're going to make a deal. They're going to talk auto tariffs. You don't win elections by making nice with a guy from Luxembourg named Jean-Claude. I'm sorry. That's the political reality that I see. So look, like it or not, that's really what Trump is playing to.
Michael's exactly right.
But I want to really quickly, as my eyes start watering, because that was hilarious. The House Republicans are working on another to try to make the individual tax cuts permanent. The Senate, they've dug their heels in. How important is this, though, for House Republicans going up to November?
Kevin Brady, the chairman, will reveal that to the House today. It is important because a lot of people felt like, hey, we don't want this to be temporary. We want many of these to be permanent. And it's kind of core to the Republican message. We want lower taxes, but Congress has got to cut spending if they're actually going to affect the debt.
Yeah, because
that's where they've wimped out. That's where they're doing a terrible job.
Yes.
How crazy is it that the Democrats are trying to run on the debt?
Yeah.
Hey, sorry.
We're just pointing out the hypocrisy in the Republican Party on the debt.
I agree. You got to cut spending, too.
Yeah, I think that Democrats ought to be wearing T-shirts that say, yeah, we're hypocrites, too.
Meanwhile, the bond market does not care about the spending. They don't care. The bond market does not care. Let's see if they ever do.
Okay.